hello, hello. Do you know what day it is? Do you know your name? You do? Barely? Still sipping on the first cup of coffee, are you? I am. I've got my little I love fall cup this morning. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you yesterday. My sister had a hankering to go somewhere first thing in the morning, and by the time I ate breakfast, we're out of here. We had a grand time, though. We had a grand time. Yeah, she took me to take her grandkids to school, and then we went out and looked at some property and stuff. She's all into these little tiny houses, you know. Yes. And evidently there's, well, from what she says, and I know it to be true, she has a fascination with these tiny houses. Well, you know, she's been dealing with homes and houses, and she designed her she shed, and, you know, she's just, both of my sisters are like that. They're just very, you know, I've talked to you about that before. They can build a house. In fact, my sister has, and my other sister has, so there you go. I lived in a house, okay? Does that make me a further stone? Anyway, we went out and looked at some property yesterday that was a possible site for setting up a tiny home. And my sister said, oh, I think I just want one just out, you know, not too far, that she didn't have to drive very far, and just sit in a little tiny house and experience it. You know, she has a tiny shed out here in the back. Well, it's not tiny, really, but it's her she shed, which you've seen. And but we went out and looked at property yesterday. And it was fun, you know, just seeing what was available around Little Rock area, metropolitan area, you know, in about a 30 miles radius or so. But we were on the northern side of Little Rock, North Little Rock Ward, you know, Cabot up there. Anyway, we had a really good time looking around. And I want to tell you, you remember I was griping that time? I don't know. Some of y'all might not have been with me during that time, but they had a recall on my cpap machine. And I griped because I was thinking, you know, and I called my doctor. I was trying to get me a new machine. I couldn't afford a new machine. Poor visitmema. Well, I sent in paperwork. Online. Well, online I did it. Do you believe that? Online. I put my name in there. Oh, it's been a year or so ago. When it first had the recall, when that was, I don't know. And I'd given up hope. You know, I tried everything and to get my cpap machine replaced through Philips. Philips is the one that had the recall on their machines. Well, lo and behold, yes, that's right. I get a text saying it's been delivered. But it's been delivered to where I used to live. And I said, well, at least they've delivered it. So now I just have to get my sister taken so we can go over and pick it up. But I was thinking, you know, they were to their words, Philips was. I mean, it took them a while, and they had to replace them for all around the world. All around the world, they were replacing these respironics, you know, Philips was. Well, I got mine, and I am very excited about it. And it's half the size I thought it'd be. I didn't know that my cpap had two parts. If I'd thrown it away, I wouldn't have the other part. But I'm still I'm still using it as long as I can, you know, until I get this new one. So now I've got to take mine apart. You have to take it apart, the one that's the recall one, and package it up and return it. They provide a box, a label, everything. So I have to replace that. To send it to them. So before I do that, I get the new part that they've given me, the actual machine, and I have to attach it to the old part of the old machine. No, the part of the old machine that is the water reservoir. So you have to take them and put them together. And then you have to put in this little modem that was from the old one, cpap, put it in the new one. So it'll program itself, but you have to have it plugged in. So I've been reading the manual since I got home yesterday. And I've taken it apart to see if I can do that. Okay, that's good. Taking it apart. So now I just have to put them together, plug them in, machine in, and take this little modem thing, whatever it is. There's a name on the label there. So, and I take that out of the old one, out of here, and I put it inside the new one. And it's supposed to program it and everything. I just leave it for 5 minutes. They said that's all I have to do. Now, that doesn't sound too hard, but I'm going to read it one more time because I do mess up on instructions. But I want to thank Phillips. Thank you, Phillips, for being of your word. I had little faith. I really did. Down there was a little faith, down here way low there was a little faith. But now, there you go. They were to their words. They were to their words. They were. Phillips, respironics. They had a recall and they replaced my unit. I was running into difficulty, girls and guys, that the machine was going to cost me $1,000 or $800 to get me a new one because Medicare will only pay for one that's so old, or so young or whatever. They've got a cutoff date or a requirement so that Medicare will pay for it. Well, they paid for my first one, and they paid for my second one. But this one was recalled, so it was a whole different ball game. And Medicare just refused to pay any of us for any of the ones that were recalled, and it was responsibility of the company. Or if you want to buy your own. Well, I just couldn't afford one of my own. There's no way I can pull out of the hat, $800, much less $100. Or $1,000, whatever the prices were. They're outrageous. They really, and they still are. But I hung in there really, I just almost forgot about it. I almost did. I just continued to use the old one. And if I die, I die. I was just going to say, well, I've done everything. I've talked to doctors, my supplier, Phillips, Medicare, I've talked to everyone. So anyway, the end result is very good. I got it in the mail yesterday. Well, not in the mail, but it was misdirected. But with the way things are, I got it. And I'm very happy. And I want to apologize for yelling and screaming and ranting to Phillips. Because they did follow through and didn't cost me a penny. Thank you, Phillips. Thank you. I hate to eat crow, but I had to eat crow. But I'm very proud of them for following through. Very proud of them. Knowing that they were replacing them all over the world. All over the world now. It's a big company, Phillips is. But I did get mine. And I'm very happy about that. And we did look at the property. And she got her eyes full. And it was funny to ride through the country. I enjoy sitting and riding. And she even stopped at a used car place. So I could drive one of their old Saturns, a 2002 Saturn or something. Because I've been really hounding her. I really have. My sister, that is. I said, you know, I really want to drive. I know I can drive. I know the PT people say you can't drive. But I just feel like I want to drive. And so she took me to used car place and said, I'm sitting here, don't drive your car. So I got up, hobbled in there with a smile on my face. And I told the salesman I want to drive that little red Saturn over there. And so he got the keys and I had to sign papers, you know. And thank goodness I still have a driver's license. I don't use it, but I got it. And anyway, he went with me, and I went for a little short ride around the block and back around the block and back around the block because I want to stop driving. You know, the hard thing is that I can't drive because of my neuropathy. I can't feel the pedals. I don't know where my feet are half the time when I'm walking, much less trying to drive. But they had written me up that I cannot do that. But he took me just around the block, around the shop there, and it just... And the car was like $2,900 cash. No, you know, like, no payment plan or anything, just $2,900 cash. I ain't got $2,900, you know about it. But anyway. And, but it was a thrill. And I went to sleep last night sort of smiling about it because I was driving. You know, I did it. I can't tell you that I'm really safe out there, and I shouldn't have done it, but I was just around the block and there wasn't any traffic, so. And it's funny, my sister says, I have created a monster. Because I was talking about it last night, she had put twinkle lights in her she shed, and she had texted me and says, guess where I am? And she was laying in her bed in the she shed, and it was dark, of course, you know, and the twinkle lights were up in the shears, and she was laying there just enjoying her she shed. So I went out and sat with her for a minute. But I was just smiling. I was telling about my drive, and she said, oh, I've created a monster. But anyway, that's all I want to talk about this morning, because I may talk a little bit later. But I did, forgive me, I did miss y'all yesterday, and I wanted to tell you this morning what great adventure I was up into. And I'm still anxiously awaiting next week for the letters from the students in the class up north. I'm really excited about getting their letters. And hope you're all doing well. I'm going to have my coffee and sit here and wait for the sun to come up, because the sun is not up yet. But it should be here in a minute. And I've got to take the trash to the road, because it's that time of I think it's Friday, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is Friday. And I'll continue to crochet. I've got to get, you remember those half fingerless mittens I had made for Susie? And they're that color blue. I got to get them in the mail either today or tomorrow. Her birthday's on the 10th. And she'd be 78, yeah. She's 78. She's too young. She acts like she's 21. I mean, she's a nut. I love her. But anyway, remember, God has you in His hands. Pray for Mother Earth, our bumblebees, butterflies, caterpillars, and for each other. And remember, God has given us another day, and we're just going to enjoy it, and that's what we're going to do. Because what? You are special. You're special, you're special, you're special, you're special. Yes, you are. Very special. And y'all have a great day. Do some belly laughs, okay? See you tomorrow.